Watching the video so many times, getting analysis from friends and law enforcement sources that were there at the event, how did this happen? How did a shooter who was on the roof and seen by many students, pointed out by many students, allowed to lay prone at 200 yards in a perfectly prone position in order to fire on Charlie?
Get right up.
Yeah. You think he'd already be in place?
You would think that. So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying. He just ran from over, where's my finger? Whoa. From over there, ran in. And now he's right there. Just saying.
To fire a perfectly timed shot right as he's speaking about violence in the United States, right as he's talking about trans mass shooters in the United States, and asking us to all reflect on this. This is a question we've asked on our show. Why are so many of these mass shootings carried out by people that are likely on SSRIs and some sort of medication, mental illness, and they're trans? Can we have that conversation? No, let's just shoot you instead. We don't want to talk about that because that's intolerant. Why was he wearing body armor? Why was Charlie Kirk wearing body armor? And of course, the way that the bullet hits him, you can see it clearly bouncing right off. It was a kill shot aimed right for his heart, to hit his aorta, to hit that entire, as a friend in law enforcement, former FBI told me today, he said it was like a mess of pipes right there. That you don't shoot someone in the head, that's for the movies. You shoot for the heart because any professional would do it that way. So Charlie was wearing body armor. It deflects the bullet up, hits him right in the neck, and kills him. But more importantly, why was there no ambulance or EMT on site? In Utah, as in other states, state regulations require gatherings over a certain percentage of people, over a certain number of people. Even cities have different regulations, require an EMT on site and an ambulance. Go to any local carnival in your neighborhood and you'll see an ambulance parked there, ready in case someone is injured. Why at this event with thousands of people? No ambulance, no medical, nothing. And so when he's shot, how does he get carried away? By 6 individuals grab him and throw him into the back of an SUV. Incredibly difficult to try to administer any kind of care on someone in an SUV. No room to move around, no way to really administer any kind of CPR, try to stop the bleeding, do what they can in the back of an SUV. No ambulance. So likely died on the way to the hospital. Why do we not have this shooter? FBI Director Kash Patel just moments ago posting that those individuals that they rounded up initially and were shared all over social media. Even the university said that they had captured the shooter. Wasn't the shooter at all. Who were these individuals? Who were these people? Eyewitnesses immediately said that this guy didn't do it. He's like a homeless guy. He has no money. We know the guy. He lives in our neighborhood. Like, this guy didn't shoot him. Other individuals rounded up. Why did one person who was rounded up, as you can see here, have a pellet gun in his possession? And photos were shared of law enforcement, shared on social media. We got the guy. This is the shooter. This is not the shooter. And why did he have a BB gun? Essentially a pellet gun in his possession. As friend of the show, former FBI agent Kyle Seraphin pointed out, this is a simple pellet gun. But that was shared all over social media. We got the guy. No, he's still at large. He's still at large at this level. So, all that to say, we don't know who the shooter is. We do know that Charlie had told friends in recent weeks that he feared that Israel was going to kill him. We do know that Charlie had told friends in recent weeks that he feared that Israel was going to kill him.
We do know that Charlie had told friends in recent weeks that he feared that Israel was going to kill him.
And you'll see this as we go through some of these videos. There's this like permanent condition of fear. There's an underlying sense, especially amongst like the Charlie Kirks of the sector. I guess walking on eggshells would be a way of putting it, but more like walking through a minefield. That they're so scared of saying the wrong thing. They're so scared of stepping on a landmine, of expressing something in not quite the correct way and having their lives destroyed for it. And that's a deliberately fostered condition. That's because they've been threatened or because the threat is implicit. That there is no let the punishment fit the crime when it comes to certain topics. If you step on the landmine, you die, right? So that's how they act. And they act like they're really carefully stepping around a bunch of bombs. And it's just sad and pathetic because they know the truth and they just won't say the truth. And what we're seeing is people struggling to deal with this because see how to try to explain this. You've got the outrage about Israel is so overwhelming now that people recognize we cannot sustain our reputation. We can't continue to, act as an authority if we continue to be sycophantically pro-Israel.
Part of it is there's Christians in America that really believe that verse in Genesis, bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. And they believe that applies today to the secular government of Israel. I personally don't believe that, and I'm a Christian.
So we have to change because the arguments that we used to make aren't working anymore. The names we used to call people aren't working anymore. So we gotta start talking bad about Israel just to maintain our legitimacy on the right. That's the way that the wind is blowing. Thanks, folks like yours truly and others who have been outspoken about this and upfront about this for a very long time. At the same time, the structure still exists of the landmine field. They're still operating in a system that will destroy you for becoming a threat to Israel. So how do they manage this? How do they walk this tightrope? It's an interesting question, and they're all struggling with it. Let's go to clip number 6 here. This is Charlie Kirk talking to Megyn Kelly about how frustrated he is that he's getting backlash to platforming anti-Israel voices like Dave Smith. Here's Charlie Kirk, again, trying to figure out how to dance in the minefield. Let's watch.
Look, I'm afraid because, again, I want civilization to win. I want the West to win. I don't want the Islamo-fascist barbarians to storm the gates of Jerusalem. I want the holy sites protected. I believe in the Holy Land. I love that Jesus walked on water there and rose from the dead and preached in the Mount of Beatitudes. Like, I feel the connection to Israel. But at the same time, simultaneously, when the hostile reaction is that now Megyn and Charlie are enemies,
right?
Boy, I'll tell you, like you're not gonna, I wouldn't say lose, but you will weaken and just basically deflate two of your strongest advocates if that continues.
You will weaken and deflate two of your strongest advocates if that continues. So he wasn't saying he wasn't saying right there, he said, so now Megyn and Charlie are enemies. He's not saying with each other, he's saying of Israel, right? So he's expressing frustration that despite being a lickspittle, just absolutely shameless devotee of Israel, that the slightest criticism of Israel now has made them declare him an enemy. He's like, I've spent my whole career dedicated to supporting Israel, and now the instance I have somebody on that isn't pro-Israel, now I'm their enemy. And now he's stuck in this position where he's like, I have to still support Israel, but they're both hurting themselves with the overwrought reaction. So like if he actually does care about Israel, he's seeing the way Israel's acting and he's going, you're destroying yourselves. So maybe there's some legitimate, concern happening there. But he's also trying to, justify this as if it's for the sake of Israel, when really he knows that he's got to criticize Israel because what they're doing is evil. And he doesn't know how to handle it. He's like, I can't, in good conscience, pretend I don't see what's going on, but then I'm obligated to support Israel. He's terrified. He literally started that clip by saying, I am terrified. He's saying, I'm terrified because I don't want the West to succumb to Islamo-fascism. Is that why he's terrified? Is that who's scaring him, the Islamo-fascists? Or is it the, Israeli donors to TPUSA who are probably frantic and freaking out right now and demanding that something be done to stop the bleeding? Something has to be done to cauterize this wound before we bleed out and Israel's support completely evaporates and never gets regained in this country and things get real different moving forward. They're real desperate to cauterize this wound, and they're leaning on Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk is going, but the more I support Israel, the less legitimacy I have. I mean, they're in a lose-lose situation. They're in a downward spiral, and they're flipping out, and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do about it. I have an answer for you. I have a solution, Charlie Kirk. Megyn Kelly, here's what you do. Tell them to go F themselves, and you tell the truth. You think you're going to lose, so you think it's going to be bad for you to break the shackles that are weighing you down? You're the golem. You're the golem, Charlie Kirk. Do you know how the golem story ends? They've created you. They've given you an incredibly powerful platform because you served their interests. And now they're threatening to take that platform away if you don't continue to serve their interests.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. And I will write upon him my new name. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches.